From acts of revenge to creepy stalkers and more, join me as I show you some scary videos that go too far. Number 6. The fireworks. This is less scary, for us watching at least, and more a case of revenge going extreme. For whatever reason, a guy goes into a pizza store with a box, drops the box inside, slams the door shut, and runs. Now thankfully this wasn't a bomb or anything of the like, but what it did contain was a whole heaping helping of fireworks, enough to fill the entire place with smoke as they started to go off. What makes this an act of revenge was that this was not only deliberate, but there were 2 employees in the store when the box was delivered. Naturally, they both ran for cover, but to do that, they had to go into the kitchen of the store because the box was already smoking near the front door. Now, there's a lot to break down here, not the least of which is why this person would want to do such an act at a pizza store. Clearly, this was an act of revenge, but for what? Or against whom? We honestly can't speculate. But needless to say, the 2 guys trapped by the fireworks didn't want to come into work the next morning, and I for one wouldn't blame them for quitting the job ASAP. I mean, would you want to come into work after something like that happened on your shift? I don't think so. Number 5. What's in the water? One of the things that you can count on in the world we live in is people seeing things in the water that are clearly not what you expect, and yet not what people say they are. By that I mean the "it was this big" stories that have been the bane of fishermen everywhere since the dawn of time. And in this video from Jack Heath, we have a shot of not 1, but 2 river monsters that seem to be unexplainable. The setup was as perfect as you can get for a "it was this big" story. As the YouTuber is filming something in the water, causing a light wake, but because of the darkness of the night and the river, can't tell what it is. But then something very bright and white comes up to the water surface, much closer to the YouTuber, and this seems to be something much more monstrous, not to mention visible. So, what is it exactly? We honestly don't know, and that's partially because of the nature of the video itself. This creature wasn't the focus, and that's clearly the problem. Even when you slow things down, it doesn't get that much better. But is it a monster? Not likely. But it could be a monster fish. Judging by the length of this thing, it could be over 6 feet long, which is still small compared to things like sharks. But still, also you can tell it's a fish because of the clear whiskers it has on its head. But as for what it is exactly, that's hard to speculate. Still, it's interesting to see that something like this is living in the waters of the world, and could prove once again that we don't know everything that's out there. Number 4, the squatter. Whether this video is legit or not is honestly besides the point, because there are very few things more scary than someone being in your house that you didn't expect to see. And in this video, a guy comes home to find a girl in his home, whom she claims she didn't know she wasn't supposed to be there, which I would love to rip apart to shreds in terms of an excuse. But let's be nice here. Anyway, the guy is naturally not amused that someone is squatting in his home and rightfully chews her out. But the whole video reeks of something weird, especially when the girl just runs right up to the camera to talk to the guy. Also, why is the guy filming this when he could be dealing with a straight up killer? The whole thing reeks of being fake, but the sad truth of the matter is that these things do happen. There have been many cases of squatters being inside houses, and no one's knowing about it until it's too late. This has even happened to celebrities. So yeah, while the video may be fake, a squatter living in your own home? That's definitely going too far. Number 3, not a great escape. When it comes to getting out of prison, there are usually 2 ways to go about it. You do it the right way and serve your time. Or you do it the wrong way and just try and take a chance to get out however you can. Prisoners have gotten pretty elaborate in regards to getting out of prison. But these 2 yutzes? Well, they won't be winning any prizes. In short, they were awaiting trial and decided to get out of prison. They did actually make it out, including having an accomplice go and acquire them a helicopter to land on the roof of the building in order to help them escape. Except the guys couldn't really climb up a simple rope, and thus, when the helicopter arrived, it literally had to airlift them out of the place while they were still on the rope. As if that wasn't dumb enough, even despite them being free guys, they didn't last too long. They were caught not long after their bold escape, and they were sent right back to prison. Number 2, possessed. One of the bad things about the internet is that we sometimes judge things based on their covers and not the books that they're contained in. And in this case, a couple of people were driving around and they saw a guy just looking outside his apartment window. He was a bit still and barely moving. It was a bit creepy. But then the people went and said that he was clearly possessed, which is incredibly dumb and disrespectful. For all they knew, he was looking at something outside his window and just paused to see if he could figure out what it was. He wasn't raging, he wasn't walking up walls, he was just very still. Number 1, what was that? Sometimes the best videos are the ones that honestly don't have the best explanations. As you can see here, a person was just having fun on their phone when an odd shadow appeared on their wall. The person clearly didn't notice it, but was there something truly there to notice? Could that have been a ghost? Or just something walking by? You tell me. And there you have it, everyone, a look at the many scary videos out there in the world and seeing whether they're really scary at all. Were you freaked out by some of these? Did you think of some of them were dumb? Which ones, if so? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe and I'll see you next time on the channel.